temperature required at 1 atmospheric pressure is known as a latent heat of vaporization. If you want to convert a liquid into the vapor, how much liquid is a standard, actually is a standard definition to calculate 1 kg of liquid into the gas. All the liquid will be not considered in kgs. Now 1 kg of liquid into the gas, the atmospheric pressure at a certain atmospheric pressure, and then whatever the heat is required is known as a latent heat. Now the effects of temperature on molecular motion. When the solids gets the temperature, so what happen, when the solid get the temperature, their molecules getting separated from each other, and when the liquids get the temperature, the molecules getting apart from each other, which is shown in these two pictures. Now sublimation, it's a very common phenomena we have observed in this, that we have burnt the camphor in our home during that puja's time, religious assemblies, that kapoor, when we burn kapoor in our home for that purposes of that religious things. So what happened, the solid is directly converted into the gaseous state. So that process is known as sublimation. That's the most simplest process. The change of state directly from solid to a gas or from a gas to solid is called sublimation. If solid camphor or the ammonium chloride is heated, it changes into vapor. If the vapor are cooled, it changes into the solid. So in this activity, what they have done, it's a laboratory activity actually. They have used a burner which is known as this burner is also known as Bunsen burner. The tripod stand is there. It's a stand which are having three bases, which is known, it is also known as the tripod stand. And in that tripod stand, what they place is a china dish. In that china dish, they are adding the ammonium chloride, putting some ammonium chloride which is in the salt form, and salt form, that is it is in the solid state, and then inverted funnel is placed on it like this. The inverted funnel has an opening point which we have to close with the help of a cotton. Now we have to look out in a very proper manner that when it get heated, we have to seal this thing, so that either you have to use a such type of funnel which is fitted in that china dish, so no leakage of gases will be there, or other if it is there, then you have to seal it with the help of cotton again. So when you start heating it, what happened, the ammonium chloride is converted into the gaseous form. Now it converted into gaseous form, and that it is further, as the vapors are emerges out, the ammonium chloride vapors are deposited, because it's no escape facility is there for them, for the vapors. So what happened, the ammonium chloride get deposited over here at the side of the funnel. So the ammonium chloride get again solidified. After when we finish this experiment, when we turn over this funnel, and when scratches out from the wall of that funnel the ammonium chloride in the solidified form, which reflects that the it gets as solids converted into the gas, and gas is again converted into the solid state. Now interconversion of the three states of matter. See, the solid, if we want to convert it into the liquid, we have to do the process of fusion. And if we convert this liquid into the solids, for example the ice formation, solid, it's a process of solidification. Now next is when we have to convert the liquid into gas, the process is known as a vapor, and gas into liquid is known as a condensation. And then gas to solid is known as the sublimation, and again solid to gas is again the process of sublimation is there. The state of matter can be changed by changing the temperature or the pressure. Now next is the effect of pressure on gases. So when pressure is applied on gas, the particle come closer to each other, and the gas changes into the liquid. Example LPG, it's basically a gas, but due to the high compressibility, that gas is converted into the liquid. That's why it is known as a liquid petroleum gas. When we liquefy gases by applying pressure and reducing the temperature, the compressed solid carbon dioxide, here we are giving the example, the compressed solid carbon dioxide is called the dry ice. It is basically used by the medical purposes, as it doesn't get melt easily. If the pressure is reduced, it changes directly to gas without coming into the liquid state. Okay, so solid carbon dioxide is known as a dry air. So why it is used? So the reason is the pressure is reduced, it changes directly to gas without the coming into the liquid state. Okay, now next is the evaporation. The change of a liquid into vapor at any temperature below its boiling point is called the evaporation. which means that it's a very common term. We have the evaporation from the seawater we have observed in the in our junior classes in the process of water cycle. Evaporation is a surface phenomena. Remember it, the difference between the boiling point and the evaporation, boiling and the evaporation. Boiling occurs in a mass, while evaporation occurs as a surface phenomena. The particles from the surface only, when they gain their energy, the forces of attraction between them become loose and they automatically converted into the vapor states. Now next is the factors affecting the evaporation. The rate of evaporation depends upon the surface area, temperature, humidity and the wind speed. When the surface area is more, the evaporation is less. When the temperature is high, the evaporation becomes automatically high. When humidity is there, that means already the water molecule is present in the air, then there is a less probability for the evaporation, because already the concentration of water in the air is high. And the wind speed, of course, because as the winds blow, it blown away all the water molecules, so the evaporation becomes high at the time of wind speed. Increase in the surface area increases the rate of evaporation. Okay, so if a surface area get increased out, more the surface area, more the evaporation will be there. Okay, now increase in temperature increases the rate of evaporation, increase in humidity decreases the rate of evaporation, and increases in wind speed increases the rate of evaporation. So high energy evaporating particles are there in the middle of the range, the medium pulled back into the water, and the lower range remain as a liquid. Evaporation causes cooling also. We are aware of this thing, where we are wearing the cotton cloths in the summer to keep our body cool. As the sweats evaporate, it absorbs heat from our body and making our body cool. So when a liquid evaporates, the particle of the liquid absorb heat from the surrounding and evaporates. So basically what happened, when the liquid is evaporate, basically it's have to convert into the gaseous state. So now how it will convert? It gain the energy. From where it will gain the energy? Whatever the heat produced in our surrounding, that energy they will gain, and that get evaporate. So it reduces the amount of heat around us. So the surrounding becomes cool. People sprinkle water on the roof or upon the ground, because during evaporation water absorbs heat and makes the hot surface cool. During summer we sweat more, because during evaporation the sweat absorbs heat from our body, making our body cool. Wearing cotton cloths in summer keep us cool, because cotton absorbs heat, and when the sweat evaporates, it absorbs heat from our body, making the body cool. Okay, so here we are concluding the chapter with this.